I need to make this video in memory of the late Akira Toriyama, god of manga. His iconic Japanese comic book series Dragon Ball, about one man's single-minded goal to become even stronger, has a lot to teach us about eternal progression. Through this, we may learn to grasp the truly essential part of human existence. By this, we believe in immortal life and the endless joys it may bring. But I must lay out some things first before we fully immerse ourselves in Dragon Ball, so be patient. Eternal progression has created a never-ending debate among the most spiritually enlightened prophets. But a few things remain clear. As Joseph Smith described the topic in the great King Follett sermon, God was once as we are now and is exalted, and sits enthroned in yonder heavens. That is the great secret. Here then is eternal life, to know the only wise and true God. And you have got to learn how to be gods yourselves, the same as all gods have done before you. We will progress to where God is now, and God our Father will move up further. It would appear that in Elias theology there is no end to Jacob's ladder. We are tiny specks of dust on a never-ending expanding pantheon of gods. How we progress up the ladder is what is debated. We agree that kingdoms expand and dominions multiply, but in matters of power and knowledge, will we one day reach a point where we have obtained all power and wisdom, and then remain stagnant forever? Bruce R. McConkie thought so, saying, "If God is just dabbling with a few truths he has already chanced to learn, or experimenting with a few facts he has yet to already discovered, we have no idea as to the real end and purpose of creation." Others, like Brigham Young, argued otherwise, that knowledge and power have no end. There is no such thing as principle, power, wisdom, knowledge, life, position, or anything that can be imagined that remains stationary. They must increase or decrease. As with all debates, the ultimate truth lies in the middle. Outside this universe, God may still be able to progress in power and knowledge, but God is all-knowing and has all power regarding this universe and its inhabitants. Yet we are still able to surprise him. For example, the brother of Jared, Moriakimer, had such faith that he pierced the veil and saw the finger of God. If we were to one day become eternally stagnant, then life would quickly become simple, repetitive, and boring. And as most atheists fear about the afterlife, we would become so exhausted that at some point might desire a way out of existence. But if all things are to progress eternally forever, then we might not become bored, but seek to live life to its fullest and become ever more creative. If the day comes when we know all things and have all power, we will not experience the joy of creating something new. Blair Ostler compared eternal progression to the scientific concept of Darwinian evolution. If we suppose that God is more evolved than ourselves, then evolution would result in a more diverse God, not less. Overall, evolution generally favors increased complexity over long periods of time. In this theistic Darwinian model, it seems the further a life form evolves into a greater state of knowledge, consciousness, and awareness, the more godlike that life form becomes. We will now begin to discuss these topics further with Dragon Ball. The protagonist is Son Goku, a boy with a tale based on the character Sun Wukong from the old Chinese story Journey to the West. For more information on how Dragon Ball takes inspiration from Journey to the West and Buddhism as a whole, I invite you to watch Wisecrack's video on this subject. But anyway, Goku begins the story as a wild boy with a tail, a Saiyan from the planet Vegeta. One day, he encounters a girl named Bulma who is in search of Dragon Balls, legendary mythical items that have the power to summon the dragon Shenron, who in turn will grant any wish. Having already received one of the Dragon Balls from his father, the pure-spirited Goku accompanies Bulma on her quest to find the rest. We could see Goku here as the origin of man, a wild man lost in the wilderness like the Sumerian Enkidu or the biblical Adam. His only human connection was the man who found him and raised him. Goku began life as a feral animal who caused chaos until he bumped his head and lost all memories and mellowed out. The man who found him, whom he would refer to as Grandpa, was killed by a giant ape. To Goku's horror, he would learn that he was that giant ape, having transformed at the full moon. Later in the story, he transforms again after being held captive. His wild, ferocious side takes over and mindlessly destroys everything in its path like a wild animal. But with the help of Bulma and his other friends, his tail is cut off, which returns him to human form, suggesting his evolution from ape to man. We too lost our tails and have only the tailbone as a reminder. While Goku's tail did regrow after being first cut off, it seems to have happened only as a child. As Saiyans grow, they soon outgrow the need for a tail, and as an adult, it no longer regrows. But then he would learn to tap even deeper and into greater power by integrating the raw, ferocious power of the great ape with his human form. Similar to Jung's concept of integrating the shadow, suppressed unwanted qualities, with the ego to create the ultimate self. Like Enkidu and Adam, Goku at the beginning of the story, when he still had his tail, would have to be civilized by encountering the other, a woman, an encounter that tells him that all things have their opposites. Such an encounter would force upon him the realities of the outside world. When he first encountered Bulma, he had never seen a girl before and was baffled to find she didn't have a tail. She at one point wondered if all boys had tails. Goku would then experience intense Freudian castration anxiety when he would discover that Bulma doesn't have any balls.
It's your balls, Bulma! They're gone!
So this becomes his surefire gender test.
Trying to protect my daughter?
Daughter? Does that mean you're a girl? Yeah, thought so. You're a girl, all right.
Castration anxiety, as described by Sigmund Freud, is when a man finds a woman and wonders if she was castrated, as he cannot imagine life without a phallus. And women, in turn, probably experience the opposite of this anxiety.
Interesting pictures.
No. Put that back. That's not for kids.
How do you even walk around with that thing?
Goku throughout the show shows how ignorant he is of the female gender, followed by sexuality as a whole. When he encounters a little girl named Chi-Chi, he is clueless that she has any romantic feelings for him. He mistakes the idea of a bride for food. And on into Dragon Ball Z and its follow-ups, Dragon Ball Super, Goku still has much to learn about sexuality.
Whoa! What was that, Trunks? You put your mouth on hers. That's so weird.
You're married and have children.
Yeah, duh, but what's that have to do with kissing?
And how to be a proper father and husband, as he is frequently absent from his family for years on end to train. Chi-Chi has had to put up with Goku's antics and seems increasingly irritated with him every time. With her feistiness and hot-headed nature, she often appears to be the only person Goku fears. As a Saiyan warrior, it's what attracted him most to her. Strong men need a strong woman.
Wired that way, didn't you know? Saiyans only like strong women. That's it. That explains everything.
Following the quest for the Dragon Balls, Goku took up martial arts training with the turtle hermit Master Roshi. With his new rival Krillin, Goku learned to train like never before. Whatever rigorous task Master Roshi threw their way, the tasks often included waking up extra early for hours of hard manual labor. Roshi also was sure to train their minds to be sharp, which would help in combat. While they still had daylight, they trained their muscles and minds with good meals and a nap time. Once it became too easy, they would start doing the tasks with heavy turtle shells. Once they could move massive boulders, Master Roshi would teach them how to fight. But no matter how hard one trains, there are limits to what the human body can do. This is where Ki comes in. Master Roshi teaches Goku how to harness and master his Ki. Ki being Japanese for spirit or energy. This is how he learns to perform his most iconic move, the Kamehameha wave. As in the Japanese religion of Shintoism, Ki is in all natural things, plants, animals, birds, and the very fundamental elements of nature. Goku would learn how to use the Spirit Bomb, which he can use by calling upon all things to lend him their Ki. Goku would then throw the Spirit Bomb at his enemies. The more Ki he collected, the more devastating the attack would be. The Spirit Bomb has a particular aspect. If you are truly pure of heart, you cannot be harmed by it. It only affects those who are out of balance with nature. Goku would use this to defeat an evil villain called Buu by calling upon all the people of Earth to supply him with their Ki. Toriyama describes Ki as what allows a person to break past physical or mental limitations. In battle, the most important thing is the size of your Ki and your control over it. Ki, as a concept, of course, includes such spiritual spiritual powers as energy, Genki, courage, Yuki, and right-mindedness, Shoki. No matter how much you train, there are limits to physical strength, and the only way to overcome that is through Ki. I think Goku was able to approach the mightiest warriors in the universe through strengthening his Ki. Yes, Goku's spirit energy, courage, right-mindedness were on another level. He was a man with eternal progression, an eye single to God's glory, that is, for the glory of mankind. He protected the innocent and inspired generations to follow after him. He always believed in the hidden, untapped potential of his son Gohan and others. In addition, he always felt that even his greatest enemies could be his most incredible friends in competition. His friends were always his key source of strength. Vegeta, Goku's ultimate rival and fellow Saiyan, would always be one step behind Goku because of his ego and selfish nature of only fighting for himself. But as he slowly grew accustomed to the inhabitants of Earth and started a family of his own, he and Goku are constantly pushing each other to their extremes. Shun any who try to tell you that competition is evil. Nothing is further from the truth. Nothing is healthier than proper competition. To quote German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, life wants to build itself up into the heights with columns and stairs. It wants to look into the far distance and out towards joyful beauties. Therefore, it needs height. And because it needs height, it needs steps and conflict among the steps and climbers. Life wants to climb and in climbing overcome itself. This is the will to power. It is in all things and it is in you. When Vegeta first visited Earth, he was as a villain, seeking to conquer it. But after a terrible struggle, he was defeated by Goku and his friends. Krillin sought to end his life for all of the damage he's caused, knowing that if he escaped to recover his strength, he would be back to conquer again. But Goku persuaded him to spare his life, saying it would be a waste to end the life of such a great competition.
It'd be such a waste. Yeah? What are you talking about? After I finished training with King Kai in Otherworld, I thought I'd gotten as strong as I could possibly get. Then I saw Vegeta fight, and he's so much faster, so much more powerful than me. Things he was capable of, it was overwhelming. But I've got to admit, deep down I was pretty excited. Maybe it's because I'm a Saiyan too, but when I see somebody who's that strong, my heart starts racing, because I realize I still have farther to go. It makes me want to train myself even harder.
He wanted another chance to fight him and grow stronger. No matter who he fought, he only wanted to fight them at their best. No matter how badly he was beaten up, he always returned more robust than before. Due to being a Saiyan from another world, a species specifically bred to be warriors, his body would recover stronger from all the physical abuse, making literal the famous Nietzsche quote,
"What doesn't kill you makes you stronger."
But amidst competition, beware of envy, like the tyrant Frieza, who destroyed Goku and Vegeta's homeworld out of revenge because he feared the legend of the Super Saiyan, a mighty warrior who would surpass and defeat him. When Goku appeared to face him, it was as the last of his race, aside from his son. All of the hopes and dreams of his fathers rested upon his shoulders, or be snuffed out forever. When Goku witnessed the death of his friends, he said no more, and transformed into the Super Saiyan, which Frieza feared most. Frieza, thinking he would always be at the top, always mocking Saiyans as lesser evolved creatures, calling them monkeys, never bothered to train until he witnessed what Goku had become. Such arrogance is what led to his downfall. Unlike Frieza, Goku was pure of heart, seeking friendship when possible, providing mercy to those who needed it, hoping that those he fought would live to fight him again another day. He knew eliminating competition would eliminate the will to power within himself, leaving him weak and docile. Even when fighting the evil Kid Buu and finally managing to destroy him, even after he did nothing but fly around destroying one planet after another, including Earth, Goku used the Dragon Balls to wish him back to life, but as a pure of heart human, so he could fight him again. Goku believes in competition and the will to power. He is always thrilled when his opponent is more potent than him. To quote Nietzsche again, Goku might say with him, "My idea is that every specific body strives to become master over all space and to extend its force, its will to power, and to thrust back all that resists its extension, but in continually encounters similar similar efforts on the part of other bodies, and ends by coming to an arrangement, union, with those of them that are sufficiently related to it. Thus they then conspire together for power, and the process goes on. Goku dies many times throughout the series, but is always restored by the Dragon Balls. In the afterlife, those who dedicated themselves to training the body are permitted to keep their bodies and train more. It's what focused mindset that makes Goku eternal and eternally progressing. Gods in Dragon Ball are more like supervisors than the creators of universes. Goku meets many of them and trains under them, but he wouldn't manage Divine Ki until he met the god of destruction Beerus, a being even the great Shenrong feared, a formidable foe who heard that he beat Frieza and was hoping for a true challenge, the challenge of a Super Saiyan god. Here, Goku would ascend to the level of a deity and shake the whole universe with his punches. He would only continue to climb higher as he met more significant foes. There was always some new transformation to obtain, some new goal to meet, some new friend to make, and some new rival to compete against. Soon, Goku would be thrown into a match with several other universes in a universal matchup. In a struggle against a formidable foe, Goku launched a massive spirit bomb. The two pushed on it tremendously until it collapsed in on itself, and Goku fell into it. At this moment, something awakened inside Goku, something most gods only dream about obtaining. He had received the autonomous Ultra Instinct. He was entirely in what the athlete calls the zone. Thinking about what move to make always takes time, but learning to trust fully in the body allows one to react more instantaneously. Most real pro athletes can only go partially into the zone, but Goku figured out how to go all in. It always is with Saiyans and with near-death experiences. They go down only to rise higher than before. Their defeats make them stronger. Their pains and bruises make them more beautiful. They love the pain and sacrifice of battle and conflict. They never want it to end. They want to progress eternally. As Nietzsche wrote, "I love those that know not how to live except as down-goers, for they are the overgoers." In the universe of Dragon Ball, there are no limits. All limits are self-imposed and meant to be overcome. One can always be stronger, faster, or more skilled. One can always be more determined to do what it takes to surpass every obstacle. Even those called gods can be surpassed, and others can compete with the surpasser. Everything is eternally progressing or regressing. Goku would never choose the void of nothingness, but choose to live on eternally, eternally fighting and eternally growing stronger, loving the intense suffering that comes with it, the down-going. The more damage he takes, the greater he can rise above it all. Goku would evolve forever. Just when we thought that becoming the legendary Super Saiyan was the pinnacle of Goku's power, he ascends and ascended again.
Has he really found a way to surpass an ascended Saiyan? Is that possible? Is to go even further beyond!
Just when we thought Super Saiyan God was the pinnacle of his power, he ascended still. Even when we thought he couldn't get any more powerful than with Ultra Instinct, something even the gods can be envious of, we find out he is only at the bottom rung of that ladder, and he has yet to climb a new one. Every time a stronger opponent appeared, Goku would want to face him at his best, which would cause him to ascend further. He refused to ever be taken out of the fight. He would work hard and push past the immense pain that would come. He feared nothing but his own stagnation. If Goku did ever reach the top and surpass even Zeno, the Omni King of the universe, another could come up behind him and challenge him. He could be dethroned or choose to grow even faster, stronger, and more beautiful forever. Many claim that the ultimate motivator in life is a short life to end in death to nothingness. But these people are already dead. The truly great motivator in life is facing our impending demise head on and doing what we can to push it back, thrusting with all our might. The great motivator is living on the edge of the abyss but refusing to fall in. We stare back at our opposition, which threatens to dam our progress, and whisper, "No." We seek an audience with death. and say boldly, try to take me if you can. The true enjoyer of life wants nothing more than life and will always love it more than anything else. And so with this, we give a great thank you to Akira Toriyama. Thank you for reminding us of the joys of life and fighting to progress eternally. Here's hoping that in
Another dimension.
you too are still progressing eternally.
Figured it out yet. I'm the Saiyan who came all the way from Earth for the sole purpose of beating you. I am the warrior you've heard of in legends, pure of heart and awakened by fury. That's what I am. I am the Super Saiyan Son Goku!